This is the Pro Wrestling Report PrimeTime TV, the longest-running pro wrestling news program in the world, with your hosts, David Hero and Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report PrimeTime Saturday night. It is, well, it's not WrestleMania Eve, but it's WrestleMania Weekend Eve, David Hero. Here
It's Saturday night.
On My 24 Milwaukee, Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius Tiberius, the alleged backyard one-time knockout diva, straight-edge hardcore Hall of Famer hero,
yes.
who I do declare I am still fairly upset with.
For what?
I got beat up last week. In this very studio, I had to be treated medically because Abyss, the monster Abyss, attacked me and tried to choke me out. And my resiliency,
When
folks,
did all this happen?
It happened when you were on the phone with my mother concerning her.
Oh, is that when Linda screamed?
Yes, it was.
I thought you guys were just like reenacting something from, what movie was that?
Gettysburg?
No.
Shawshank Redemption?
Yes, the laundry scene.
You will get yours, pal. Just you wait.
Listen,
and by the way, I've been in contact with Rockstar Spud,
Yeah?
and he's going to take care of this. He may have taken care of it last Thursday on Impact.
But listen, see, he was my diamond of the ring. I played my
just
cards
kissed his
right.
tail because he just happened to be sitting here.
I played my cards right.
I don't even want to hear it because it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for this week's WWE Report. Let's start with a red-hot Raw from this past Monday night, which started with not such a red-hot opening. Stephanie McMahon, Randy Orton, and Batista have what I really call a horrible opening segment, and it was nearly as bad as Batista splitting his pants and his tail hanging
How
out
does that?
at
Who
the end of
splits
the
their
segment.
jeans? It's
Batista
denim.
with a Batista bomb on Randy Orton and gets up, holds the WWE Championship, and, well, on a camera shot, you could see that his denim did not remain intact. But this was brutally bad, David Hero. Those three, Stephanie McMahon clearly frustrated during the segment because Batista's mic went out and he didn't know how to handle that.
Well,
There's a microphone laying behind you. Why don't you use
obviously,
that one?
Steph has better mic skills than Batista.
Obviously?
But
she's got more experience.
She
Yeah.
does. You know, but you don't open the show with three of the more despised characters on your program. People aren't behind Batista, they're not behind Randy Orton, and they're definitely not behind the billionaire princess.
It was clear. Let's move on from that segment and go to what was one of the shining moments of the show, and that between Hulk Hogan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I forgot his name, Joe, doesn't matter what his name is, from the upcoming movie, I think it's called Scorn. Arnold was the guest host. What I didn't expect, and it's so funny how wrestling audiences are, because they're not predictable sometimes. Arnold got a pop and a chant as a guest host of Raw. I don't think we've seen that since Betty White or Bob Barker, who actually got well received as guest host of Raw.
But Arnold Schwarzenegger is a legend, and plus, let's not forget, he also put over Bruno Sammartino.
He did, and remember last time when he also had that segment with Jerry the King Lawler several years ago on Raw as well. No, that was William Shatner.
SmackDown.
SmackDown it was, yes,
SmackDown, yes.
But The Miz comes out and interrupts, and only an endorsed star, ladies and gentlemen, could endorse the legend Hulk Hogan. Now, it didn't end well for Miz, but...
And get beat up by an actor.
He didn't get beat up. He got punched. He got sucker punched from behind. If you didn't see, Arnold pulled a switchblade, tried to cut him, and then his friend, this other guy, sucker punched him when he wasn't looking. And then Hulk Hogan, from behind, grabs the Miz and throws him over the top rope.
He's the governor of California. Of course he has a switchblade on him.
A shiv?
Yes. But it drives me absolutely insane and crazy when I see Hollywood stars beat up professional wrestlers.
Why?
Because that makes it seem like anybody can be a pro wrestler.
Well,
but it is The Miz, so I guess there's the out in the whole deal.
Bray Wyatt shines again in his promo. Is there anyone better on the microphone right now than Bray Wyatt in WWE?
Right now, no. I mean,
it's amazing.
He makes you come into him, you know, and
he reels
listen.
you.
Yes, he does. That's the word I was looking for.
But you know what? Another Wyatt that in Luke.
He's a Harper.
Luke Harper, exactly. John Cena in the mirror in the bathroom washing out his face, which was so odd to begin with. And the first thing I thought, I'm like, wouldn't his bathroom be bigger? But
well, first of all, why would Cena let a camera in the bathroom to begin with?
He didn't know it was there. It was behind him.
Even worse.
And then in the shot, you see the sheep's head looking in the mirror from behind. I thought it was a moment of brilliance. I literally laughed out loud when that happened.
So if you saw a sheep's head in your bathroom mirror.
Entirely different story.
You would be fine with that?
No, I wouldn't be fine with it, nor was John Cena, but the visual was fantastic.
The Wyatts, you know where they're from. Where the men are men and sheep are scared.
The match between the two I thought was great as well, and how about John Cena wearing that sheep's mask to end that segment?
And you know what? The Wyatts have been getting the best of John Cena every week, completely owning him, which isn't going to bode well for the Wyatts come WrestleMania Sunday.
And speaking of WrestleMania Sunday, the Usos versus Ryback was announced as a tag team match for WrestleMania. That would then be changed to the Usos versus Los Matadores versus the Real Americans versus Ryback. So that change happened on Main Event.
I don't like that.
And that's a four-way matchup. I understand we're going to hear about that in DWHS later on here tonight.
Spoken word.
And also another match announced was the Vicky Guerrero Divas Championship Invitational match with 48 Divas, I think.
Vicky Guerrero's. Is there an acronym for that or something?
I think Big Bam Bama is in that match. I think Lady Godiva's in that match. I also think that Mount Fiji's in that match, too. All going after AJ Lee's Divas Championship.
Not going to end well for AJ.
On SmackDown, the Shield versus Kane and actually this was on Raw as well. Shield versus the Authority, Kane and the Outlaws, was announced for Mania. And this past Monday, Daniel Bryan not in the building. We wouldn't see him last night on SmackDown either.
How do they keep the biggest star in the company off of their biggest show?
Well, they do it with a tremendous wrestling matchup, which was for the #1 contendership for the Intercontinental Championship. That between Dolph Ziggler, Alberto Del Rio, Sheamus, and Christian. Christian would suffer a concussion in that matchup, even though he won, and would be going on to the main event live on the WWE Network on Tuesday for a Intercontinental Championship shot. Well, that would then be Dolph Ziggler replacing Ziggler in that Intercontinental Championship matchup against Big E, which he lost on Main Event, but he did so after another three-way match that he won to get that #1 contendership opportunity for the Intercontinental Championship.
There's all this shenanigans going on Raw in Main Event.
Seth Rollins shines again on Raw, David Hero. Dean Ambrose, the first big star out of the Shield after they were introduced. Everybody was talking Ambrose, Ambrose, Ambrose. Then came Roman Reigns. Now people are noticing who? What they were calling the Marty Jannetty of the group, now Seth Rollins, who is
I have never called him that.
You actually may not have called him that, but there have been comparisons made. But another showcase for Seth Rollins this past Monday night.
What the Shield has done is they have let every guy shine individually, and that's what makes them a great unit.
And now they're good guys going into WrestleMania.
Well, they've always been good guys. They've always been cheered.
They've actually never aligned with anyone.
No. Well, the Authority for a little while.
That they just stood there between the wrestlers on the ramp and the Authority in the ring.
Yes.
SmackDown last night, speaking of the Shield, they wrestled twice. First defeating 3MB and then defeating Ryback with the Authority looking on. Sheamus gets a win over Batista via disqualification after Batista went wild with a chair after the matchup.
He's upset about those jeans are like $200 a pair.
And then again on SmackDown, no Daniel Bryan, no Randy Orton, no John Cena, but Emma and Santino went on a date, David Hero. Not sure how it ended. I don't know if they ordered dessert or not.
That's going to sell WrestleMania tickets, putting those two on a show.
Well, that's a comedy bit. Don't you need that in every show?
Not before WrestleMania.
That's this week's WWE report. An active Raw, a solid SmackDown. Main Event actually good as well. I like the effort they're putting into Main Event with it airing live on the WWE Network. That's, again, this week's WWE report, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, more of the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Saturday night.
Follow us on Twitter for breaking news, live wrestling chat, and pure hilarity. Head over to twitter.com/PWR show and be part of the conversation.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, the insurance company may try to stop you from getting what's fair.
After my car wreck, the insurance company tried to stop me from getting what was fair. I called Gruber Law Offices.
Be careful. Call us right away.
They better be careful. Now I've got Gruber Law Offices.
Call us. Let us get started on your case right now.
They green-lighted my case and got me $100,000.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Call 276-6666.
New Orleans, SWO, the Shenanigans World Order is coming to WrestleMania weekend. Join Ken Anderson, Demolition, Shane Helms, Al Snow, and the headliner, the main event, Kevin Nash, for a huge event. A VIP dinner and reception, a question and answer session, a meet and greet, and an after party, all part of SWO. Friday night, April 4th. Details right now at PWRshow.com.
TNA Impact Wrestling returns to Racine for the first time in almost 4 years with the all-new 2014 World Tour. In the main event, World Champion Magnus battles Mr. Anderson in a World Heavyweight title match. Come an hour early for photos and autographs at the hottest fist-pumping pre-show party hosted by Rockstar Spud and DJ Zima. Free with your ticket Saturday, May 3rd at Racine Civic Center Memorial Hall. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. TNA Impact Wrestling. As fun as it gets.
Congratulations, Dave and Damien, for 16 years on the Pro Wrestling Report. Keep rocking.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Saturday night. And yes, as Linda said, hop on over to ProWrestlingTees.com and pick up your brand new endorsed Nelson
How does
Family
that happen?
T-shirt.
How do you get a new shirt before I do?
Well, I'm close with the designer.
It must be very close.
Well, all you have to do is go to the local kindergarten and have some kid draw your shirt, right? That's what you did last time? Some child?
No, I did not.
3-year-old?
There was a lot of time, and
Pre-K?
effort, and money put
So you
into
went to
that.
kindercare. Into a circle with a yellow background with some words scribbled on it.
You know, crayons are very special.
Magenta?
That too.
It's time for this week's Impact Report, ladies and gentlemen. Impact Wrestling this past Thursday night featured a non-title matchup. Angelina Love getting a win over Madison Rayne. Velvet Sky at ringside. Referee distracted.
How does that
Velvet.
happen?
How does what happen?
How does somebody that hasn't been on TV in years come back and defeat the champion in a non-title match?
What other options do they have?
You know what?
Gail Kim,
I just
ODB.
don't- slow it down. No reason to rush it right now.
Velvet and Angelina Love, of course, aligned, and they laughed, hugged, and posed it out to leave. I do like the developing story between these three women, the beautiful people. There is a backstory there from their history.
There's
in
a
the
lot of
past.
backstory. Just don't like how they're rushing it.
Samoa Joe gets a win over Eric Young. He did so via the rear naked choke. I said naked like JR. Naked. I'm excited to be going to JR's show, by the way. In
You
New
said
Orleans,
naked
Thursday.
3 times and going to JR's show?
Eric, well, this was
EY,
weird.
Eric Young, Showtime EY.
Yes. He got defeated by Samoa Joe. The referee, Brian Hebner, raised his hand several times. Earl Hebner came out, talked about the fact that EY was laying down on Joe, so he pinned Joe, but he didn't pin Joe, so a little confusion after the matchup. Now, this all stemming from EY trying to get involved in the Magnus Samoa Joe championship situation from last week. EY wants to get his hands on Abyss. These players in this circle, if you will, Abyss, EY, Magnus, Samoa Joe, what do you think of where we're going with that story?
A fatal 4-way. Eventually, they're going to have to go
Sacrifice,
there.
perhaps, their next
It
pay-per-view.
could very well be. I mean, Eric Young is one of the more talented guys in TNA Impact Wrestling. He's his own TV show, one of the top-rated shows on Animal Planet. And, you know, I mean, Magnus and Joe can only have that program for so long. And then you got Abyss, your good, close, personal,
I hate him,
longtime
actually.
friend. Hate's a 4-letter word.
There was no reason for him to put his hands on me last week. None.
He thought you
No
smelled
reason
good.
at all.
Handsome man like yourself? You'll learn. You're not a wrestler.
Bobby Roode and EC3 got a win over Willow and Bully Ray. In a tables match, Rockstar Spud comes out in a wheelchair. Jeff Hardy, of course, takes care of him.
Wait. So Jeff Hardy and Willow were both in the same place at the same time?
Well,
That's kind of what you're implying.
it's almost like and Jerry Mathers as the Beaver. It's
Yeah.
and Jeff Hardy as Willow.
I know. It's just so
Should
weird.
be in the opening now.
It's so weird seeing Jeff Hardy as Willow. Isn't it?
I just don't. You talked about it on the podcast.
It's creepy.
It is a unique character that I'm not sure is going to. Let's see where it goes, but I don't know what the end is with Willow.
Are you going to paint your face like Willow?
I've never painted my face before in my life.
Never, ever?
Never painted my face before in my life, no.
Wow.
That's this week's Impact Wrestling Report, folks. It's time now to go to Linda Kay with this week's Event Center. Linda, take it away.
And we are only 2 weeks away from the biggest and best party event of WrestleMania weekend. Cold Cock Whiskey and PWR present SWO, the Shenanigans World Order, starring Big Sexy Kevin Nash. The event kicks off with a special VIP dinner and private reception with Kevin Nash And then join Nash and more for a no-holds-barred question and answer session where you are the stars. It's all topped off by the Shenanigans After Party, where you can meet and party with your favorite wrestling stars. It's the only way to kick off WrestleMania weekend. Tickets start at only $25 at PWRshow.com and use the promo code PrimeTime for 10% off your VIP tickets. All attendees will be entered into a drawing for 2 free tickets to the PWR suite at WrestleMania. It's a value that cannot be beat. Impact Wrestling is coming to the Milwaukee area with a huge show in Racine on Saturday, May 3rd at the Racine Civic Center, and tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. That's it for this week's Event Center presented by Gruber Law Offices.
Thank you, Linda. Huge events next week. Next weekend, I guess you can call it. SWO, New Orleans, WrestleMania, PWRshow.com for all the details on all of that.
World Order.
But it is time now, folks,
for this
week's...
Hold on. It's the only party you can get into for starting at $25. It's
Well,
not like
$100. Friday.
It's not like some $100 GA party, $500 party. It is just the list of talent is insane.
And you can get all that detail at PWRshow.com right now. But it is time for this week's Hot News, brought to you by Cellucor.
This is one of my favorite segments.
Featuring products that maximize every training session, helping you get the gains you're looking for faster than a speeding bullet. Head over to Cellucor.com and enter the code PWRshow at checkout and get 20% off your entire order. Hell of a deal. Definitely.
It is a hell of a deal. I'm a big fan of Cellucor.
Stacy Keibler has confirmed that she is pregnant. In a recent interview with People magazine, she said, and I quote, "I'm so excited for this new chapter in my life. I'm so ready for it."
So George Clooney couldn't get the job done, huh?
In case you missed it, Stacy Keibler was recently married to Jared Pobre in Mexico. WWE announced that Razor Ramon will be the next inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame, rounding out this year's class. The ceremony will air live on the WWE Network the night before WrestleMania. WWE also announced the release of the original Sin Cara on Thursday. In a statement released on WWE.com, the company said WWE has come to terms on the release of Luis Ignacio Irvine Alverde, effective on March 26,
really?
2014.
You got to say all that?
We wish Luis the best of luck.
It's Luis.
In his future endeavors.
Say Luis.
Dish Network will be airing WrestleMania. Last week, we told you that Dish had elected not to air the event, but earlier this week, the company announced that they will indeed make WrestleMania available to their subscribers. WrestleMania will also be available on the WWE Network, an issue that has caused cable and satellite companies to reevaluate their relationship with WWE.
Talk about babyface turn, huh?
Ring of Honor wrestlers Kevin Steen, Roderick Strong, and ACH took part in a WWE tryout camp at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. It is unknown whether or not they will be offered contracts with WWE, but Strong and Steen are certainly two of Ring of Honor's top stars.
Isn't that crazy how they have to go through a tryout? Like they don't have enough film of them to see on TV?
That's it for this week's Hot News, presented by Cellucor. Maximize every training session.
This week's Robert Hack Diamonds of the Ring are the Wyatts. Yes, Bray, Luke, and the other tall guy that wears the sheep mask on his head. Rowan Harper? Rowan Waynes? Doesn't matter. They put the boots to John Cena, put the sheep mask on him to make themselves top stars once again, making John Cena doubt, can he really take on all 3 members of the Wyatts at WrestleMania, making this a must-see match. This week's Robert Hack Diamonds of the Ring, the place where they pay cash for gold, is the Wyatt family.
Stop stalking your ex and be our friend on Facebook and join the tremendous worldwide discussion. Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report.
TNA Impact Wrestling returns to Racine for the first time in almost 4 years with the all-new 2014 World Tour. In the main event, World Champion Magnus battles Mr. Anderson in a World Heavyweight title match. Come an hour early for photos and autographs at the hottest fist-pumping pre-show party hosted by Rockstar Spud and DJ Zima. Free with your ticket Saturday, May 3rd at Racine Civic Center Memorial Hall. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. TNA Impact Wrestling, as fun as it gets.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Anderson Just want to send a big shout out to my pals over at the Pro Wrestling Report. 16 freaking years of service. We thank you guys. Big congrats to Dave, Damian, Linda, and sometimes Cal.
The WWE Tag Team title match has been made for WrestleMania, and it's now a four-way. The Usos, the Real Americans, Ryback, and Los Matadors, all solid tag teams, but a huge glaring omission, Cody and Goldust. The Road Brothers helped rebuild the tag team division last year by having the best matches on the show. They told great stories and even fought for their careers. The psychology that Goldust brings is second to none. I understand that Carlos Colon being inducted into the Hall of Fame, that Los Matadors get a spot, but I believe WrestleMania should reward the talent that excelled. Goldust and Cody did just that and deserve far better than being thrown into a battle royal. And with that, David Hero has spoken.
Wow, David, finally!
What?
You have seen the light. You have gone to the light, Carol Ann. Giving props where props are due, the Cody Rhodes exclusion from that four-way tag team matchup.
Well,
I'm glad you now
about
see
the Rhodes brothers, Goldust and Cody. Big difference. Huge. But yeah, Cody should not be in a battle royal. He won't fare well in a battle. He's too small.
He's been in battle royals before.
And
he did great in the Money in the Bank ladder match. He did great.
Has he won a battle royal?
He did great in the Royal Rumble.
Has
Goldust won a battle royal?
Of course he has.
When?
He's Goldust.
When?
In WCW and Florida Championship
Goldust in
Wrestling.
WCW.
Yes.
And Florida Championship Wrestling as well. When was Goldust in WCW?
When was he?
Yeah.
As Dustin Rhodes.
It's time to go in depth, ladies and gentlemen.
He won a bunkhouse battle royal.
Back of a truck. WrestleMania 30 is next Sunday, and this year's event has a star-studded lineup, but it still feels as if something is missing. You've got Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, John Cena, Batista, Brock Lesnar, and Randy Orton, and you even have some new stars in the spotlight, such as Bray Wyatt, The Usos, and Daniel Bryan. But it still does not feel like WrestleMania to me.
WrestleMania?
In fact, if you take the Mania title off the show, what do you really have? The Showcase of the Immortals generally sells itself, and this year will be no different. The Superdome will be sold out. Nearly 1 million people will buy the show on pay-per-view, and WWE will make millions of dollars on the event. But where is the buzz? Have we gotten too much over the past few years? Has the event become cliched? Have they relied too long on veterans to make the show feel big? I'm trying to get excited about WrestleMania, I really am. But this year's event, the 30th extravaganza, has just not done it for me yet. So the question is, what is missing from this year's show, and why does it feel like just another old school Raw?
You know what's missing from this year's WrestleMania?
What's that?
CM. Not even he can save this show. Honestly, they're missing so much. They're missing the electricity of The Rock. They're missing the brashness of Stone Cold Steve Austin. They're missing characters. And with the exception of the Wyatts and Daniel Bryan and The Shield, there aren't characters. And the Wyatts are in a match with John Cena, which will elevate them, but it's not going to make them great. The Shield is in a match with 3 Attitude Era guys, Road Dogg, Billy, and Kane, which they should win. And then you have Daniel Bryan pulling double duty. And that's who they're building it around, is really 5 young guys. They brought back Batista, didn't bring the buzz and the pop that they had hoped.
Did they hedge too much of a bet on Batista?
No, they were hoping that Batista could just fill in some of the void. But the void is a lot. I mean, The Rock is a big void to fill.
But that's only okay, so Rock was 27, 28, 29. We go back to 26. Not a great WrestleMania, but it still felt like it was a WrestleMania going into it. McMahon versus Bret Hart. You had, what was the other? It was Taker and Shawn Michaels.
Right,
Shawn Michaels
you had
retirement.
Shawn Michaels. You know, I mean, it's different. You still had some of the guys there that could go and could tell great stories. Right now, it's a different, and Al Snow gets upset about this when they say the business has changed. The work rate has changed. Yes, there's still a winner and a loser, but
are you faulting the performers, the athletes?
No,
for lack of buzz?
partially, yes. Partially
How
I
so?
am. Because it's the promotion's job, WWE's job, to make people aware of WrestleMania. It's the talent's job to sell the tickets, that people want to buy a ticket to see them. WrestleMania sells out itself. There isn't one match I would pay to see on Sunday at WrestleMania.
Bray Wyatt, John Cena.
No.
Really?
You know why? Because they've gotten involved so many times with each other leading up to this. You've already seen what can happen.
Streak versus Beast.
That one maybe, but Taker is so old and battered and bruised.
And here's what I don't understand about the Streak. Unless there is a credible threat to the Streak, why do I care about the
Brock
match?
Lesnar's a credible threat to the Streak.
Yeah, but at this point, he's not going to lose. If he didn't lose to CM Punk last year, he is not going to lose a match at WrestleMania.
My only concern right now is that Taker has gotten the best of Brock Lesnar the last few weeks. Taker's been now, Monday Night Raw has got to change. Where
you didn't like that coffin gimmick from this past Monday?
No, got the best of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Okay. He stabbed the pen in his hand last time. Choke slammed through the table. Got the best of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar needs to beat down and destroy the Undertaker on Monday Night Raw to give people false hope that Brock Lesnar can defeat Undertaker.
Obviously, you're not excited about Daniel Bryan's chances of walking out of the Superdome as the WWE World Champion.
Listen, if I'm in Vegas, he's the favorite to win both matches.
Both matches.
He is. But be careful what you wish for, wrestling fans, because...
Did Triple H say that on Monday? Something like
he heard that from last week's DWHS. If Daniel Bryan...
You're still sending that to Stanford?
I do. Every week I send my tapes. You know, they might need me sometime.
Care of Howard Finkel?
No, it's Jay Russo. So, what I do is you got to figure if Daniel Bryan leaves the World Heavyweight Champion, the chase is over.
If that does not end WrestleMania, what does? If it does not end with yes, 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 70,000 people, arms in the air, chanting yes, 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 confetti pyro, Daniel Bryan champion, his moment has come, then what does it end with?
It has to end. That has to be the last match simply because you need Daniel Bryan and Triple H are going to kill each other. And that'll probably be the first or second match. So that has to go on last to give Daniel Bryan time to recuperate.
So there's no other way to end WrestleMania than that way you say. Can't end it with The Undertaker going over and winning with Brock Lesnar.
No.
Can't do it with Cena beating Bray Wyatt.
No, because they want to make their championship the biggest spectacle of WrestleMania.
This is only the beginning of the conversation, folks, about WrestleMania 30 all week long. David Hero, all week long. Primetime continues Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and of course next Saturday as well at PWRshow.com. Primetime special edition, all week long WrestleMania coverage. We're going to take a close look at the event and ride right along with you on the way to New Orleans.
Let's not forget, go to PWRshow.com and watch Al Snow's WrestleMania video.
It is one to be seen, folks. Until Monday for a special edition of Primetime.
Monday?
That one. This is Damian Nelson saying thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you Monday.
5 days a week?
WrestleMania special.